All right, I'm live. I'm live. Let me get to Facebook very quickly. I will go to Facebook and they want me to log in. What is up with that? Okay, now I want to go to my page so I can see all of you. Oops. All right, I'm live. So I am live. I'm going to go to my page. Let me see. So I can see all of it. Now I need to unmute myself. Okay, okay. Very good. Hi, everybody. So please say hello if you're out there. I would love to know who's on, who's watching. And I am going to share this. Don't want to unfollow myself. That would be really silly. All right, I'm going to share this to my story. And then I am going to... Hello, Judy. How are you? And Tanya, it's great to see you. Both of you. Share to a group. All right, join me for lunch with Lisa. Okay, and then I'm going to post that. I know there's a few of you. Hey, Laura, happy Monday. Good to see you. All right, so today I want to talk about a conversation that I had with a very good friend of mine, which was really quite an illuminating conversation. And what happened was we were talking about the coaching industry. We were coaching, and both of us have been in the coaching world for a very long time. And it was fascinating to us. We were talking about what it's like to be a coach these days and how it just feels like the whole coaching industry is just saturated. And I can't even imagine if I were out looking for a coach today, what that would be like. I can't imagine. Hey, Janice, good to see you. I cannot imagine what it would be like to have to choose a coach today. So as I was talking to Patrick, he said something that just kind of stopped me in my tracks. He said, Lisa, coaching has really become an industry. And that kind of blew my mind when he said that, because when I started coaching almost 20 years ago, nobody even knew what a coach was. We used to go to, we were trained when I was going through my coaching training that, hey, Emma, it's great to see you. We were trained when I went through, when I trained as a coach, that people might not know what a life coach was. And so when we were at a dinner party or we were talking to somebody and they said, well, what do you do? And we would say, I would say, well, I'm a coach or a life coach. And people would just look at us and say, oh, what? And then we would say, well, let me give you a little taste. Do you mind if I sort of coach you on the spot and show you what I can do? And then we do a little impromptu coaching session right there. And if the person seemed intrigued, we would say to them, hey, why don't we set up a time for next week, and I'll be happy to give you a free sample session so you can really see what coaching is and how it can change your life. And so that's how we started in the very early days of coaching, to get coaching clients when nobody even knew what what coaching was. Now, flash forward almost 20 years, this has become an industry. And my deepest concern, and I want to say this is not to be critical of other coaches. I'm here to help you watch your butt, right? I don't want to see any of the people that I work with, the women that follow me. I don't want to see you falling into some of these traps. And to be honest with you, this is what's happening right now. So over almost 20 years ago, I trained as both a life coach and a relationship coach. And when I got into coaching, I became a coach because I knew that I had solved a very important problem, something that very few people have ever been able to solve in their lives. And it's something that almost everybody I've ever met in my life wants, which is to have a truly healthy, loving, lasting romantic relationship with a partner. And so I knew that this was something few people had ever done. And I decided to become a coach so that I could coach people on how to do this, especially because online dating was brand new at the time. People were afraid to get out there. And I thought online dating was God's gift to the dating world. I thought that it was an incredible way for us to be able to finally get dates. When I was younger, I struggled to get male attention. I don't know about some of you, but it was really hard for me to get male attention, especially when I felt like I was competing with other women who I thought, just had an easier way who had an easier time connecting with men. That didn't come naturally to me. I also couldn't even tell if a man was interested in me or not. And with online dating, I just knew that if somebody was reaching out to me and if they were willing to set up a date, then they were probably interested, not just in getting to know me as a friend, but because they were dating sites, I knew automatically that they were attracted to me. So many of you know, if you've been following me, that I went on nearly 100 first dates, 96 to be exact, before I met the guardian of my soul, my husband, Benjamin. And we've been together for the last 18 years. So when I accomplished this, what I thought was an incredible feat, I decided that I would train as a life coach and relationship coach so I could help other people do this and just not have to go through everything I went through. I was going to simplify the process. So when I first started as a coach, this is crazy, but I coached for free. And, I knew that I really needed to get my tools down and my skills down. I didn't want to go out or feel it was right to charge people a lot of money when I was just a newbie. And so I found, I think, 4 or 5 people who were willing to coach with me. And the criteria for free coaching was that they had to show up for all of their sessions. If they didn't show up or give me 24 hours advance notice, I would automatically cancel them. And those 4 clients became the basis of my entire coaching practice. So I practiced on them and they got great results. And then they referred friends to me. And when I went into the certification process, it was required that we have 5 paying coaching clients. And so I put my first rate at $50 a session. I charged $50 for my early coaching sessions while I trained to become a coach. And I felt like that was a very fair and reasonable amount of money 20 years ago to be making for a coaching session for a new coach. And little by little, I started to raise my rates over the years. And then I spent 14 years of my life coaching men and women and couples one-on-one or two-on-one if it was a couple. But I did private coaching sessions for 14 years before I really sat back and said, okay, you are an expert. You are top of your field. And that's when I had a real heart-to-heart with myself. And I said, Lisa, it's time that you step up your game and that you create a high-end coaching program. You're ready for this. Now, hi, Debbie. Good to see you. Now, here's what I see happening in the coaching world today. Because it's become an industry and so many people see it as a way to make vast sums of money, you have a lot of people coming into the coaching world who have never, ever taken a coaching course in their lives. they have never coached anyone, and yet they call themselves coaches. So I would be aware of this. I would really be aware of people who have never trained as coaching and have zero coaching experience who call themselves coaches. And let me explain why. Coaching is an art form. It is not just something, a title that we put on ourselves. People train as coaches because there is a methodology to coaching. Now, I have a big bone to pick with experts or mentors who call themselves coaches. I don't think that they're the same thing. Coaching is an art form where a coach doesn't give you the answers, but they guide you to your own answers. So a coach is somebody who stands in the present moment and helps you look out into the future. And we hold our clients we look at our clients as being creative, resourceful, and whole. And we know that you have the answers to what is true for you, what is true and right for you. And so we are trained to ask questions that will help you unlock the deeper secrets to your own truths. And we help guide you toward that. So an expert is somebody who feels that they have accomplished something in their field and they're going to tell you what to do, or a mentor. But coaching is a very different thing. So if you're going to hire a coach, you want to hire a trained coach who really knows how to coach, who has years of coaching experience. What is happening today in the coaching world, and again, I would be very careful when you choose a coach for anything. And I'm not just talking about love coaches. I'm talking about all the coaches out there today. Be very careful, because what's happening is there are many coaches who coach coaches on how to market high-end coaching programs. There are many coaches who coach coaches on how to market and create high-end coaching programs that they will sell from anywhere from $5,000 and up. Many of these coaches have never coached before. They just created these programs on the spot using the guidance of these coaches who coach coaches. And they charge exorbitant amounts of money for their programs. Now, I am not saying that working with me is inexpensive, but you're also looking at a coach who pioneered the field of love coaching. When I started over 18 years ago as a love coach, there were hardly any coaches, let alone love coaches. So I was a pioneer in this field. I paid my dues. I have hundreds and hundreds of hours of coaching, probably thousands if I sat down and actually calculated everything. Thousands, tens of thousands of hours of coaching under my belt before I ever created my high-end coaching program. I worked with men and women and couples of all ages and across the board. I worked with gay couples. I worked with straight couples, but I worked with people. Hey, Laura, great to see you. Thank you for saying hi. So I worked with, I sat in my office. I charged nominal fees. Probably my fees were too low for many, many, many years by other coaches' standards. And I sat there and I earned my medal. I paid my dues to become one of the top coaches in this field. But having said that, there are people who go out and they create very expensive programs with little or no coaching experience. So I share all of this because the quality, just because somebody puts together an impressive website and they charge vast amounts of money for their services, do not automatically assume that they know what they're doing. the quality of the coaching you will receive can vary greatly. So I really want you to be careful when you choose a coach. We are not all the same. So here's a few things I want you to be asking yourself if you do decide to look into hiring a love coach. And I think all four of the things, the questions I'm about to share, are absolutely essential when you are looking at hiring a love coach. So the first thing I would ask is, how long has this coach been in practice? I would be looking for a coach with a minimum of 5 years of experience in their field. It took me years before I felt like I was a pro. And anyone who thinks otherwise, is fooling themselves, because there is no substitute for practice and experience. For me, I had to learn how to navigate all kinds of help clients navigate all kinds of situations in their dating lives, not just the situations I went through, but to help them look at their dating lives and navigate through all kinds of situations. I had to hold their hands and help guide them through those situations. And I also had to learn how to talk to clients and speak to them in a way that was not down-putting or critical, but to treat them with love and respect and honor those clients no matter what they were going through. So that was an art form. It's why my clients feel so safe with me. They feel like they can open up to me about anything and trust me with their deepest secrets. The second thing that you want to look at is this person a trained and certified coach, or are they just calling themselves a coach? So many people today who call themselves coaches are really just mentors or advisors with no coaching training at all. If you've ever worked with a trained or expert coach, you will know the difference. Coaching is not about advice giving. It requires a specific skill set to coach somebody effectively and lead them to find their own truths. The third thing that I would suggest you ask yourself is, does this coach have years of solid reviews from clients who've achieved the very thing you're looking for? Does this coach have solid reviews from clients who have achieved the very thing you're looking for? If you go to my testimonial page, you will see hundreds of reviews, many of them live video recordings of exit calls with my clients on my testimonial page. So you want to spend some time reading what these former clients have said. And I want you, as you're reading these testimonials, I want you to ask yourself, does what they're saying, does what this client is saying speak to my heart? Does what this client is saying speak to my heart? Also, don't just look at the reviews that are on this coach's page. Be sure to do a search of reviews for that coach, because Trustpilot, Yelp, and other, Better Business Bureau may have other reviews, and the coaches can edit their reviews and only post the most positive ones, but you may find some negative reviews on places like Yelp or Trustpilot. So you really want to check that. I know that I have probably now at least 10 or more years of reviews on my Yelp page. So you can see they're almost all 5-star reviews, and people elected to post those themselves. I didn't ask them to post these reviews for me. They did this on their own. And so you can see many, many reviews. And then the final thing I would ask you, I would suggest, and this is probably the most important thing of all, and it really does get overlooked. And this may be a little controversial for some of you. You may not agree with me, but I hope that most of you will. You need to ask, is this coach in a successful long-term relationship or marriage of more than 5 years? Is this coach in a successful long-term relationship of more than 5 years? For me, this is a non-negotiable. I would never, ever hire a coach who had not achieved the very thing I was looking to achieve in my life. Why would I take advice from somebody who doesn't walk the talk? Why would I hire or go and work with somebody like Matthew Hussey, who is not in a good relationship? He's not in a lasting relationship. He's cute as can be. You know, he's a great little cute Brit, hot young Brit guy, but Matthew Hussey isn't in a relationship. I would never take relationship advice from somebody who is not living and breathing the very thing that they're trying to help you achieve. So why would I go learn how to be $1 million coach from a coach who has never cracked the $1 million mark in her own business? Why would I work with a fat trainer? None of those things make sense. Would I work with an unhealthy nutritionist? No. So why would somebody work with a love coach who doesn't have a loving, lasting relationship? One of the most remarkable things, the pandemic gave me a true gift. My husband, unfortunately, wasn't able to work for for an entire year until he finally got his shots, and so his vaccine. And so during that year, so that he didn't go crazy, Benjamin helped me in my business. And what's so beautiful is he came on all the Q&A calls during that year, and he's continuing to do so because it's been so impactful for the women who go through my 12-week coaching course. Benjamin, this is so beautiful. He has been on all the Q&A calls, the Tuesday calls and Thursday calls with all of my women. And here's what's so amazing. The women who work with me and with us and who have gone through my program, at the end of the course on their graduation calls, every single woman says, Lisa, one of the highlights of the whole course was being able to see you and Benjamin together and see how the two of you interact with each other. That, for me, that modeling was life-changing because I've never seen a relationship like yours. The two of you genuinely love each other unconditionally. And now, because I've spent the last 12 weeks being able to observe how you relate to each other, I know what I'm looking for in my own life. So, you do not want to work with coaches who have a do as I say, not as I do approach to love coaching. There are many, many coaches out there who think it's, a wonderful career path to become a love coach, and yet they don't have relationships themselves. I also know many love coaches who are not in good relationships. They're not even in happy marriages or happy relationships. And I would be very, very, very wary of that myself. You want to find somebody who doesn't just talk about love. You want to work with a love coach who's deeply inspiring and can talk about what it's like to be in a beautiful, unconditionally loving relationship for 18 years with her husband or partner, right? Goodbye, Janice. It's good to see you, honey. So you want to really work with somebody who's done this, not just talks about doing it. That's the real magic of working with a coach, is to have somebody who really can inspire you, who's been there and done that, so that you can just follow along in her tracks. and just do what she says, follow her suggestions and guidance so that you can attain the very thing that she's attained. So be sure to find somebody who already has what you're looking for. That's important. So let me go over those again for you one last time. If you're looking to hire a love coach to guide you to a loving, lasting relationship, here are some of the questions I would be asking. I would be asking, how long has this coach been in practice? Does the coach have years of solid reviews from clients who've achieved the very thing you're looking for? Is this coach trained and certified, or are they just calling themselves a coach? Have they paid their dues? Or do they just feel like, hey, I'll just call myself a coach and charge thousands of dollars for my services because, hey, I'm a good salesperson? And finally, is the coach you're considering working with in a successful, loving, long-term relationship or marriage of 5 years or more? So those are my suggestions. Go out and start looking for a love coach if you really want to get this solved. Don't keep spinning your wheels out there in the dating world. There are some fabulous coaches, but now you know how to find one. I am Lisa Shield, and thank you so much for sharing your lunch hour with me. I do these every single Monday at 12 noon Mountain Time. I also do a wonderful hour-long Facebook Live Q&A every Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Martha says, oh my, Lisa, yes, I asked a coach if she was in a relationship. She avoided the answer. I didn't hire her, but then I hired another one and didn't ask that question. I'm feeling uncomfortable now. I'll check her reviews. Thanks for the suggestions. Yeah, Martha, I would never, I think it's hypocritical. I'll just be absolutely frank with you. I think it's hypocritical. And as a coach, who's more than paid her dues and, been in a loving relationship for 18 years, and who has more than paid her dues as a coach, I find it appalling that people go out and do this work and don't have relationships themselves. One thing I will also say is that there are therapists who become coaches who think that, as a therapist, they're qualified to help anybody with any issue. And one of my bones to pick, even with therapy and therapists, is that many of these people who are even therapists, they have not, their lives and their love lives are disasters, and yet they charge, a tremendous amount of money, and they give advice, and then they go home and they yell and scream at their own partners, and fight. And yet they're coaching couples or coaching individuals on how to find love. So I just find it heartbreaking. And yes, it is a pet peeve of mine, but I feel like I've definitely earned the right to express this. Barbara says, if we wanted to be a part of your coaching program, would we be able to work with you, or would we be assigned to one of your colleagues? Barbara, much of the work you do is with me. Oh, thanks, Barbara. I'm so happy. Barbara, let's jump on a call. Just go to lisashield.com. Very much of the work that you do is with me directly. So you have 4 hours of time directly with me. And then also all of the content for my course was created by me. One of the things I really want to stress about working with me as a coach, there's a couple of things. So when I started out in this field, there were no love coaches. So I never copied any of my, my methodology, any of my coaching techniques from anybody else. Everything that you get from me is proprietary. My work, my system, my methodology is mine. So I developed my program, which is called Emotionally Naked Dating. I show you how to get emotionally naked and use your emotional nakedness to attract what I call a guardian of your soul. You can even hear from my languaging just now that my wording is very different than what you're going to get from any other coach. These are my terms. This is my languaging. So it's my system. And what you find with many coaches today, that it's all like, lean back, use your feminine energy. This is masculine. This is feminine. You're going to get the same repurposed, recycled concepts and ideas from many or most of the love coaches out there, because they're all fishing in the same pond. My process is actually a true transformational journey. So, Renee, it's you. Hi, honey. Oh, I'm so happy to see you here. And I know you're doing great. We really should catch up, Renee. I'm going to put that on my calendar. It's been way too long and I miss you. So I'm making a note right now. I'm going to talk to Marcy in a few minutes, and I'm going to ask her to please set up a time for the two of us to talk. I just want to hear how you're doing. Yeah, Bonnie, I talk all the time about the ups and downs I went through. I started, I have been with the love of my life for many, many years, but I will tell you, I was a nightmare. I mean, my first husband was a pathological liar, and I stayed with him for 13 years because I was terrified that if I left him, I'd be alone for the rest of my life. And so, it was just horrible. And I couldn't get a guy to look at me when I was younger. I couldn't even hardly get a date. So for me, none of this came easily to me. None of it. I mean, I look at some other coaches and they are cute as a button, and maybe they picked the wrong guys or whatever. I don't know all of their stories, but I almost got no male attention for most of my life. And I woke up one day and just said, Lisa, you have to figure this out. And it can't all be about youth and beauty, right? If youth and beauty and success were the keys to a successful relationship, all the celebrities would have all the successful relationships, and they don't. So, I woke up and I just said, I got to figure this out. And I didn't just figure it out. I met the finest man I've ever known in my life. And we have had 18 wonderful years together. And this is what I show my clients how to do, not just to find someone, but how to find the one, the true guardian of their soul. All right, everybody. I hope, Bonnie, Barbara, you'll go to lisashield.com and you will, we can jump on a call so I can just tell you how I can help you get this solved. I will share with you all that I had 5 women go through my course and complete it in the last 2 weeks, who all found love in 12 weeks. They all found true love in those 12 weeks. So if you want to, you're welcome, Martha. Martha, I'm welcome to, anytime you want to talk, if you feel like, you really want to know what I do and you want to see how I'm different from other coaches, honey, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. I answered your email today. And there's just such a range. out in the coaching world today. I know with the internet, we're inundated with, if you want one thing, there are thousands of people who will offer that service, and it's really hard to weed through them to find the one that really is exceptional. So, but I hope your coach works out, Martha, and I hope that, he or she is really skilled and that you're getting a lot out of the experience. All right, everybody, so much love to you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Please join me every Tuesday. I'm going to put this in the chat. Every Tuesday at 5 o'clock Mountain Time for my Facebook Live Q&A. And until then, until tomorrow, I send you all so much love. If you're still on, please hit the thumbs up or the heart at the top. I love seeing those little hearts and thumbs up because it lets me know that you are all getting value from these talks. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Lots of love, everybody. Thank you for coming on and staying on. Bye-bye.